All right, 55. These remarks, Crassius, said Coda, I perceive that you have poured forth to us without any definitions or examples because you imagined us acquainted with them. I did not indeed, said Crassius, suppose that any of the things which I previously mentioned were new to you, but acted merely in obedience to the inclinations of the whole company. But in these particulars the sun yonder admonished me to use brevity, which hastening to set compelled me also to throw out these observations almost too hastily. But these explanations and rules, and even rules of this head, are common, though the application of them is most important and the most difficult of anything in the whole study of eloquence. Since then, all the points which relate to all the ornamental parts of oratory are, if not illustrated, at least pointed out. Let us now consider what is meant by propriety, that is, what is most becoming in oratory. It is, however, clear that no single kind of style can be adapted to every cause, or every audience, or every person, or every occasion, for capital causes require one style of speaking, private and inferior causes another. Deliberations require one kind of oratory, panegyric another, judicial proceedings another, common conversation another, consolation another, reproof another, disputation another, historical narrative another. It is of consequence also to consider who form the audience, whether the Senate or the people or the judges, whether it is a large or a small assembly or a single person, and of what character. It is ought to be taken into account, too, who the speakers themselves are, of what age, rank, and authority, and the time also, whether it be one of peace or war, of hurry or leisure. On this head, therefore, no direction seems possible to be given but this, that we adopt a character of style fuller, plainer, or middling, suited to the subject on which we are to speak. The same ornaments we may use almost constantly, but sometimes in a higher, sometimes in a lower strain. And it is the part of art and nature to be able to do what is becoming on every occasion, to know what is becoming, and then is an affair of judgment. 56. But all these parts of oratory succeed according as they are delivered. Delivery, I say, has the sole and supreme power in oratory. Without it, a speaker of the highest mental capacity can be held in no esteem, while one of moderate abilities with this qualification may surpass even those of the highest talent. To this, Demosthenes is said to have assigned the first place when he was asked what was the chief requisite in eloquence. To this the second, and to this the third. For this reason I am wont the more to admire what was said by Aeschines, who, when he had retired from Athens on account of the disgrace of having lost his cause and taken himself to Rhodes, is reported to have read at the entreaty of the Rhodians that excellent oration which he had spoken against, I can't say that name, Ctesiphon, in opposition of Demosthenes. And when he had concluded it, he was asked to read next day that also which had been published by Demosthenes on the other side in favor of Ctesiphon. And when he had read this too in a most pleasing and powerful tone of voice, and all expressed their admiration, how much more would you have admired it, said he, if you had heard him deliver it himself. By this remark he sufficiently indicated how much depends on delivery, as he thought the same speech would appear different if the speaker were changed. What was it in Gracchus, whom you, Catullus, remember better, that was so highly extolled when I was a boy? Whither shall I, unhappy wretch, betake myself? Whither shall I turn? To the capital, but that is drenched with the blood of my brother, or to my home, that I may see my distressed and afflicted mother in all of the agony of lamentation. These words, it was allowed, were uttered by him with such delivery as to countenance voice and gesture, that his very enemies could not restrain their tears. I dwell the longer on these particulars because the orators, who are the deliverers of truth itself, have neglected this whole argument, and the players, who are only the true imitators of truth, have taken possession of it.